Right, we're ready. In the meantime, they're waiting for Alex. We're ready. Right, and he's here. The timing is great. Right. The timing is absolutely great. There you go.
How you doing?
But I'm fine, mate. How are you?
Very well, very well. I can't complain at all.
Yeah, I mean, Christmas
We
is
did
coming.
impossible.
Yeah, we did. And I'm not gonna lie, it was tougher than what we expect. Because, after losing 6-1 to Bado Glimt, after drawing 2-2 at home, it was tough. But, congratulations to Zorya Luhansk, And Mourinho actually congratulated them in a post on Instagram by saying that this is how you play football, even if you're out. You always tried your best. So congratulations to them. But we're off. We're first in the group, and obviously we'll be playing a team which gets second in the Europa Conference League. So match. What do we think of the match?
It was the first 45 minutes for me was proper game.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, and I think it's going to be the same thing over and over again. We do not have enough depth in the squad, so that is what's happening.
Yeah, that's exactly. I think bad results are coming. Yeah, we're coming in a way because we lost against Inter Milan, but overall, that's not the real problem, because I think the big problem, as you said, is the depth. Because I think with the depth we have, so many other problems are linked to it. In fact, yesterday, it was a perfect example. We were winning 3-0 in the first half, or 2-0, I can't remember. And, the top players were playing. It was an absolute siege. We dominated. We clustered them. And, then the problem Mourinho is saying in each press conference now is that the one time I want a substitution to rest a player, it's hard. Because when reserves come in, it's a completely different match. I mean, we were risking to equalize that, and if we equalized that, it was pretty bad, because we wouldn't be in a stage that we're at right now. So, my first question to you is, what did Fusato give you an impression of?
It's gonna be wrong to judge Fusato. And the reason because it's gonna be the defense was in shambles. We had a poor defense in the second half, but I think he was confident. I think he needs more games under his belt.
Yeah, I agree. But the problem now is, well, it's not a problem now, but a virtual problem would be if Rui Patricio gets injured. Holy, we are screwed. And I think we got a good impression of Fusato yesterday, I don't think he's great. He's not at the levels Rui Patricio is in. But that's understandable. He's young, he hasn't played much. So we can't judge him after 90 minutes. He needs more time, as you said. But the impression he gave me, which is obviously not the final judgment, because we can't give a conclusion to a young goalkeeper after playing one single match, but just an impression is that, if Rui Patricio gets injured, God, we're screwed.
Yeah, let's hope he doesn't get injured.
Yeah, hopefully.
And if he does, I think Fusato will step up. I mean, he's Brazilian, right?
Yeah.
Brazil, they, for some reason, have good goalkeepers. so I think Fusato will be one to step up. I'm confident.
Yeah, and I mean, overall yesterday, I think the best players... Oh, Tammy. What do we think of Tammy?
Great two cheap, easy goals. No, let me retake that. The first goal was cheap and easy.
Yeah.
The second one is what I have always told Tammy to do. Patience, foolery, and then put it in.
I agree. I think, obviously, if Tammy was available against Inter Milan, I am not saying that we would have won. Inter would have probably still battered us, but we would have probably scored one. Or we would have probably, lost 1-0, maybe 2-0. I think many people criticize Abraham, and I think that's the most wrong thing to do at this stage. Because, this is a big shout, but right now, the 10th of December, as a Roma fan, I can admit that Abraham is the best player in our team, as well as Pellegrini. That's a big statement, but I think he's grinding more and more and more. And I understand, okay, we were playing against Cska Sofia, but, at least he scored, And these small goals, which are not necessarily 100% important, help him to grind. Help him, For example, yesterday he bonded extremely well with Borja Mayoral. And in fact, my question to you is, would you choose Borja Mayoral over Shomurodov now?
Yes and no. Shomurodov needs time. More time. Mayoral, there was very selfish play yesterday whereby I think he ran into the 18 box and he threw up the ball. It was an open goal for him to score.
Oh, yeah. That chance was absolutely ridiculous.
Absolutely, yeah. So I think it's still going to be Zaniolo and Abraham as the best there. And I'm yet to see Abraham and Guillen.
But speaking about Guillen, Felix is back negative.
Yes, I heard that.
A few hours ago, he got negative. So against La Spezia, I'm not sure obviously if you start because COVID gives you some side effects, but he's definitely back available.
Be on the bench.
Yeah, definitely. He'll be on the bench.
But Mayoral is currently a better option than Shomurodov.
Yeah, I agree.
think Shomurodov needs more confidence. I could see Zaniolo was frustrated with him yesterday. In a couple of passes he messed up. But give him some time.
Yeah, I agree. I fully agree. I think, Borja Mayoral has the experience which Shomurodov doesn't have. I think you can see that Borja Mayoral is way more confident in these matches, these European matches. Shomurodov has never played these matches. And when Shomurodov got subbed in yesterday, he had 0 attempts. So he needs to improve.
Absolutely.
But I agree, I think Borja Mayoral was my man of the match yesterday, as well as Abraham and a few other players. I think overall, we were good. But what Mourinho said in the press conference is true. We need to be better because we can't afford to concede 2 goals against Cska Sofia. I'm sorry, but we can't,
It's sad.
Yeah. But I can see a light under the dark tunnel. I think this first position is extremely convincing because it means that we play 2 less matches, what Mourinho said, which is extremely important. And obviously the fact that we will play a less tougher opponent in a way.
Mm-hmm.
But
I agree with you. But not necessary, really, because guess what? I believe the guys who came out second, right? They all get to play the teams that drop down from the Europa.
Yeah.
And then what if those teams that drop out from the Europa wins all the...
Oh, yeah. I'm just saying the next round will be less tougher than what the expectations said. Because obviously no one was expecting Roma to get first. However, everyone's bullshitting this Europa Conference League. I'm just going to name you all the teams that are currently in it coming from the Europa League. And, it's tough. We've got Sparta Praga, PS Eindhoven, teams from the Netherlands are always a pain in the ass. We've got Leicester City. We've got Fenerbahce, Turkish teams are always a pain in the asses. We've got Marseille from France, Midtjylland from Denmark, Celtic, Glasgow from Scotland, and Rapid Wien from Austria. Yes, okay, it's not the Champions League, it's not the Europa League, but, be careful bullshitting it, ladies and gentlemen, because it's still a European conference, it's still a European league, and if we win this, yes, it's not the Champions League, but it's the Europa Conference League. It's a new tournament. It'll be tough to win it though. You know, I'm not pointing my head towards the victory right now. It's more about leading towards the victory. But obviously, getting first is way better than getting second. And we did it. It was the first accomplishment of this season, we can say. And you know, I want to know, what do you think about Veritu's form? Because it's really worrying.
Well, he's okay. I mean, but he keeps starting off and on. I don't see consistency. But I think he will come around. He will come around. Give him some more time. Well, I think he did well yesterday, but not the best. But
Bove, what do you think about Bove?
Oh wow, Bove was good.
I knew it. Bove is another gem.
I thought that was Zaniolo, and until I had to go look up the guys who started the game, and I'm like, Bove, but he was good, confident.
Man, you know, something which I think has characterized Mourinho, especially now at Roma, is that he has the balls of starting young players. Like, just to give you an example, yesterday, Bove was starting, Fusato was starting. Let me get the lineup. Bove was starting, Fusato was starting, but in the bench, sitting on the bench, we had 1. Bauer, Calafiori, Darboe, Mastrantonio, Maisa Ndiaye, Trippi, Joel, Volkerling, Persson and Zalewski. More than 3/4 of our bench yesterday was composed of academy players. Do you think these players have a future in this club?
Absolutely.
And do you think Mourinho should play them more, maybe?
Well, if you're given a chance, you have to shine. Just like Bove did yesterday. Just like Felix Guillen did the other day.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it is. Now, to add to what you said as to the fact that we've made a very good accomplishment in the Conference League, I must say that we scored the highest amount of goals in the entire Conference League.
Tammy scored 6 out of 6.
Yes, and Tammy is the highest goal scorer in the Conference League. So we have no reason not to pretty much score more goals.
Yeah.
And just get to the semi-finals or finals.
Yeah, I agree. My last question before the player ratings is, what do you think our defense lacks without Chris Smalling? Because yesterday in the second half, our defense was garbage. I mean, if we were playing against Inter Milan, just in those 45 minutes, we would probably concede like 3 goals. Even more. I think Smalling gives that light in the defense. I think he's got the experience other players don't have. But what do you think?
Yesterday we were able to see Kumbula's flaws. I wouldn't really blame Mancini and Ibanez much. But Smalling brings experience.
Yeah.
He brings maturity. He brings calmness, leadership. But in January, we need to go back and go get a very solid defender. We need that.
We need more players, not just a defender, mate. We need a defensive midfielder. We need to rebuild our bench in a way, because realistically speaking, our 11 players which start aren't that bad. I mean, to be honest with you, our top 11 players, if you remove Kane and Son from Tottenham, I don't see no difference. Our top 11 players are not that bad.
They're not.
Spinazzola's now almost back. It's the depth, it's the reserves which is the problem. Because right now Mourinho can't play about with substitutions a lot. Can't be relaxed with substitutions. Because otherwise, the entire result goes bam. It's the reserves which we need to work on. So yeah, that's a message for the transfer market. Player ratings, Fusato.
6.5.
I'm gonna give him a 6 as well. I think the 2 goals, the last goal he could have done more, and the first goal it was more defense problem, but still, I did expect him to do better in his debut. But he's young, he's got time. So yeah, 6 for Fusato. 3 defenders are Mancini, Kumbula, and Ibanez.
I mean, they were solid in the first half and just messed it up in the second half, so they get 6.
Yeah, I think Kumbula yesterday was better than Mancini. I think Mancini yesterday was one of the worst players. I'm going to give Mancini a 5. I'm going to give Kumbula a 6. And I'm going to give Ibanez a 7. Because I think Ibanez, out of the 3 of them, is the more aggressive one, is the more physical one. And that's what you want as a defender. So Ibanez is one of the best defenders in this area. That's not a big statement at all. 4 midfielders were Viña and Karsdorp on the sides, and Vertu and Cristante in the middle.
Viña and Karsdorp get 8s for me. They did very well. Viña was running and,
they grabbed 2 assists, good. So yeah, that boosts the...
Yeah, and Karsdorp, gets the assist as well. So, yeah, 8s on both of them. And then, wow, Bobby did great.
What about Cristante and Vertu?
Cristante and Vertu.
Cristante was the eeny one.
They will get 6 on, 6. I wish they could have done more, but they will get 6 for me.
Karsdorp gets a 7 for me. Viña gets a 7 for me. Cristante gets a 4. I'm sorry, but Cristante needs to be better. And Vertu gets a 5. I think Cristante and Vertu are not on a good form. And they need to improve. Because otherwise, Dorboy will maybe, and Bove now can infiltrate and take their place. Bove for me gets a solid 9. And Borja Mayoral and Tammy up front.
They both scored. That's what strikers are paid for, so they get 8s.
Yeah, I agree. What do you think about Borja Mayoral's goal, by the way?
Fluke, luck, skill.
Oh, yeah, what a synthesis.
Yeah, I mean, it was good.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was luck, obviously, but he had to do it, and he was brave enough to do it. So, yeah, I think Borja Mayoral gets a 9 because I think he reacted well after so many matches, non-playing, sitting on the bench. Tammy gets an 8. He's grinding in the Europa Conference League. Top scorer, as you said, 6 goals out of 6. If he transforms this to the Serie A, then happy days. So, Abraham gets an 8. Right, my last question of this stream is something about the next round of the Europa Conference League. Because, Cska Sofia, Zora Luhansk, bye-bye, see you next year maybe, hopefully not. Hopefully we get in a Europa League, if not a Champions League, which is extremely hard, but not a Europa Conference League. So, Cska Sofia and Zora Luhansk, it's been a pleasure to commentate about you. See you in a bit. Bodo Glimt, see you in a bit, where we'll seek our revenge, but not in the next round, because we can't get them. We can't pick them because they were in our group stage. But that doesn't mean that we can't see them anymore. So if there are any Bodo Glimt fans in this live stream, revenge is being prepared. So that's for sure. But I'm gonna list all of the teams which Roma could face in the next round. So not the Europa League teams. And all I want you to do is name the one which Roma wants, the easiest one, and the toughest one. Okay? Are you ready for this?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so the first team we could face is Maccabi Tel Aviv, FK Partizan, Rangers, Slavia Prague, Vitesse or Tottenham. We still don't know because Tottenham's match got postponed due to the COVID cases. So either Vitesse from the Netherlands or Tottenham Hotspur and Karabag. These are the teams you could face in the next round. Which is the worst and which is the best for Roma to face? I think we all know what the worst one is.
I would like us to face Tottenham.
Oh!
But for all the Tottenham fans out there, I don't think they're going to go through. They're going to be knocked out of the competition.
Wow. That's big. That's absolutely big. You know what? I think, to be honest with you, we all know what English fans are like. We all know the passion they have. You know, Rennes is already first automatically. You know, they can't get second. Tottenham is now, waiting, preparing for this match to get their players back from COVID. I think when they will play this match, they will play like Satan's best friend and they'll end up winning it. But what you said is not to exclude because they could easily get knocked out. So you would like Tottenham. But do you think Tottenham would be the worst in a way?
They could be the worst, and again, the reason I want us to play them is because obviously they are sort of the strongest. So why don't you give us the strongest second fiddle team, and that makes our path easier.
Yeah.
But before we're tagged with who we're going to play next, don't you think that the second teams are going to have to play those Europa teams that are dropping down before?
That's actually weird.
I think so.
So who do you think we'll face? Because that's actually a good point.
Leicester City.
Shit.
That's it.
You think we'll face Leicester? But we can't though. The thing is, I'm not sure if we can. Because they're coming from the Europa League.
Yeah, but remember, right? I don't think...
Right, you know what? Let me Google this quick.
Yes.
Let me Google this really quick. How does the Europa Conference League work?
Exactly.
There are 8 groups of 4 teams followed by knockout round of playoffs. The round of 16. Okay, the 8th group winners automatically go through to the last 16. So we're already through to the last 16.
Last 16, yes.
Meaning that Bodo Glimt is the team in our group stage which needs to play the playoff.
Exactly.
So, to be honest with you,
the playoffs have to happen first before we're paired in the group of 16 or last 16.
But the thing which I don't get is how the hell is then getting first an advantage?
It is because we don't have to play the playoffs.
But I'm not sure we can... Yeah, I agree with that. But I don't think we can face the Europa League teams. I think the Europa League teams will face the seconds.
Yes, so it's going to be whoever wins between the seconds and
plays
the
us. Yeah. Exactly. So you think
Leicester beats, Quarterback or whatever it's called.
So you think Leicester,
for example, if Tottenham can beat out, PS Eindhoven, they get to meet us, or we get to meet PS Eindhoven, and I want the strongest team now.
So you think we'll face Leicester? What's the best team to face? Like the weakest team we could face, easiest, bam, we go there, we win, and we get back into the next round.
You know what? With this team of ours,
I'm gonna say, looking at these teams,
Quarterback,
either Karabag or who the hell is Rangers? Or who the hell is FK Partizan? I mean, come on. We can't compete with these teams. Like, we gotta batter them. So I'd say these. From the Europa League, though, and now my last question is, the same question, but with the Europa League teams. So out of Sparta Prague, PSV Eindhoven, Leicester City, Fenerbahce from Turkey, Marseille from France, Midtjylland from Denmark, Celtic Glasgow from Scotland, and Rapid Vienna from Austria. Who do you think is the best and the worst to face?
The worst to face would be Marseille from France.
Yeah, I agree with a fan's point of view, either Fenerbahce or OM Marseille.
Yeah. I think any of those teams you've mentioned will beat us on any given day. Will beat our squad on any given day. If we have a shitty defense, we'll be whooped. Come on.
Yeah, it's the defense which we need to improve. But obviously, let's remember...
With Bodo Glimt and, Zoya Luhansk, we were very certain that, Bodo Glimt were going to go through, right? But what happened? There are no small boys or small teams in football. Football is all about psychological...
Yeah, I agree. We need to improve. Transfer market will be on our side, so we will have Spinazzola's back. So we've got our advantages. We can beat these teams, but at the same time, we can lose these teams. Alex, it's been an absolute pleasure. Bye-bye, Zoya Luhansk. Thank you for this gift. Bye-bye, Cska Sofia. Never see each other again. Bodo Glimt.
We're coming back.
We're coming back for revenge. We got first. Let's enjoy this moment. We're playing on Monday night against La Spezia in the Serie A. So, lads and lasses, set a reminder on your calendars. Important match in the Serie A. And yeah, it's been a pleasure. We got first. Big advantage. And I'll catch you tomorrow. Actually,
awesome.
Yeah, I think. See you, mate. And see you, everyone. Bye.